Hey folks, Country Prepper here. Well, it's the end of the day. I'm done making sheaths for the day, and before I leave to go to the house at the end of the day, I always split my kindling for the next morning. So that way I don't have to sit out here in a freezing garage and do that to get my fire going. I already have it ready to go. And essentially, that is the most simple form of prepping that there is. You know, I don't think prepping was ever really intended to be about buying stuff, about buying gear, or anything like that. Essentially, prepping is more about just looking ahead and getting ready for something that might come, or something you already know is coming. Tomorrow morning it's going to be cold. I'm going to have to fire up the wood stove, so I'm splitting my kindling ahead of time. That is, in the most simple sense, prepping. So what I'm getting at is there are a lot of things that you can do to prepare without spending any money. And so if you're absolutely broke, there are still a lot of things that you can do to prepare yourself for an emergency situation or shit hit the fan, whatever it may be. So I came up with my top 5 tips for prepping when you're broke. The number 5 is do some research. That doesn't really cost you anything. Read some articles or read some books online if you have to, or watch some videos. Try to stay away from the fear-mongering stuff that can really screw with your head. And you know, you can just test your mind. That's the main thing. Try to get those neurons in your brain firing just as much as you can, as often as you can, because critical thinking, in my mind, is the absolute most important skill you can have as a prepper. Number 4 is maintenance. There's all kinds of things you can do for maintenance. Just a couple examples. You can sharpen up your knives and treat them to make sure that they stay in good condition. Check all the batteries in your flashlights, your smoke detectors, things like that, and just make sure that your all your batteries are either charged up if you have rechargeables, or if they need replaced, go ahead and replace them. Just little things like that. Something that doesn't really cost you anything if you already had the batteries on hand, of course, but it's just simple little things. Just check on stuff. Number 3 is practice your skills and drills. Morgan over at Armed Rogue did a really good video about running drills here the other day, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. You know, just simple things, even if it's just fire drills, tornado drills, earthquake, whatever is the most common natural disaster in your area. Run some drills on those. That doesn't cost you anything, and it's a good thing to prepare your mind and maybe figure out some faults in your plan or things like that. That will just give you a better idea of how to execute your plan when the time comes. Number 2, do some DIY projects. Something as simple as grab some cotton balls and some Vaseline, or maybe some wax, whatever you got laying around the house, and make yourself some homemade fire starters. There's nothing wrong with that, and you can always use them. Another really cool DIY project, and there's tons of them on the internet, just look around a little bit, and that could be part of your research too, is just looking for different little do-it-yourself projects. My friend Joe over at Feral Woodcraft did a really awesome, it was actually a knife review, but he built a DIY dehydrator out of just a box, an old computer fan he had laying around, and tea candles, and it worked great. The meat was very well dehydrated, and I'm hoping that he'll do an update video and do kind of a how-to video on that dehydrator. Number 1, take inventory. I like to keep a spreadsheet of all of my preps, especially my food and water, and some other stuff too, but I mainly like to focus on the food and water. Keep track of your expiration dates, your quantities. If you have to rotate things out, do that. I don't keep all my eggs in one basket, guys. I have some stuff in the basement, some stuff in closets, a little cubby hole back in a wall that hardly anybody knows about except the people that live here, and just little things like that. So it's hard to keep track and go through every little different section of stuff that I have to keep track of your expiration dates and your quantities and stuff like that, because there's just a little here, a little there, and not a whole lot of anything all in one spot. So keeping track of your inventory, I actually need to do a video about this and show you guys maybe a mock spreadsheet. I won't show you the actual, my actual spreadsheet online, but because I don't want anybody to know everything that I have, but just an example so that people can kind of get an idea of, you know, just how I do it. Maybe it'll give you some ideas of a good way for you to do it, something that works best for you. So keep track of your inventory. Go through your food. Go through your water. You should have, if you do like I do and you store your own water in jugs and things like that, then you should always write the date on there. And then keep that on your spreadsheet. That way you know when it comes time to cycle it out and put fresh in. And same thing with like your canned foods and your dried goods. Keep the date that you bought it, and if there's an expiration date like on the can or the packaging or whatever, write that down too, and then however many you have, things like that. So just keep track of mostly, like I said, your food and water, but there are other things like, you know, maybe you have just a shitload of fire starters and you want to keep track of how many you have, or how many gallons of fuel for whatever type of fuel you like to store. If you keep any gas or any propane, kerosene, things like that, keep those on your list. But like I said, I'll do another video on that, just to kind of give you some ideas here. So that's it for today. Make sure you leave me a comment. Give me your ideas on things that you do when you that don't cost any money. That way, if somebody comes along and sees this video, maybe they get some more ideas from you guys. Those are just the most important 5 things that I could think of. And so I'm sure you guys will have a ton of ideas for me. And please share them. As always, please give this video a thumbs up. Check out all the links in the description box below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I thank you for watching. See you next time.